Hello.
Yeah, hi, Naveen. Good morning, Naveen. So you can
Yeah,
hear me, right?
yes, we can hear you.
Let's wait for one more minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, guys. So, yeah, today we are going to talk about how to convert what I call n number of source systems data to another form, or we can also say that how to convert relational data to hierarchical data or linear data to hierarchical data. So that's going to be the question mark. Yes or no? So now the question. So now the relational data, is it going to be availed from a single source system or from multiple source systems? Yeah. So we can talk about both. So let us say assuming that we are going to get the data from two sources where two source system data have got the linkage. So let me try to share my desktop. Yeah. So I hope all of you could able to see my desktop, right? So let me try to open a notepad. Yeah. Here, assuming that we got or we are going to get the data from two sources. Let us start with the two sources. Yeah. Where let's say we've got a source one and then let's say source two, right? Yes or no? Two sources. Yeah. So one source one, let's say, which is going to be master file, and second is going to be, let's say, detail file. Yeah. So meaning what? For every master, we can have n number of details, which means there is going to be one to many correspondence between the master and detail source system. Remember that. Like yesterday we have seen, like one employee can have n number of addresses, right? Yes or no? Similarly, but this particular relationship, right, we have seen within itself, meaning what? We can also call it as what? Intra-table relationship or intra-source system relationship. Yes or no? But now we are going to talk about interrelationship, meaning what? Inter, across. Let us say we got source one, source two, where there is what we call a linkage. Meaning what? So there could be one record here with n number of related records. N could be two or three, whatever. Yeah. Or even other way we can think. Let's say same source one and source two with what I call many to many relationships. Yeah? So n relationship, n number of records over there and m records here. So which means what? So with respect of whatever related relationship that we have uh, between or among these two source systems records, right? Do we have any way to pull the data with such kind of source system data or not? Answer is what? Yes. Remember. Now the question, or we can also say that can we convert what we call relational data, yeah, to what hierarchical data or not? Yeah. So which means assuming that this is going to be linear or relational data. Yeah. Say example, let's say file one and file two. Yeah. Let us be specific. Assuming that we are going to get the data from two sources in the form of what? Two files, remember, which are interlinked, like a master child or whatever, right? Now the question, how are we going to read the data with their relationship and start getting it translated to what we call hierarchical data? Meaning, in simple terms, file to what or files to what? XML. Yeah, you got right. So single file we can deal, or we can also deal with what? Multiple files. Yes or no? Yeah. One I think we have seen yesterday, right? Like what we did, we could able to convert XML to a flat file. Yeah. Or we can say hierarchical to, so hierarchical data to what? Relational data. Yes or no? That we have done it. Now today, let us try to talk about the other way, relational to what? Hierarchical. And that we dealt with only one. Today we are going to deal with what? Multiple, in a sense, multiple source files to one target file. Yeah? These two source files are what? Relational. Yeah. So that's it. So I think the concept is clear, right, guys? Yes or no? Yeah? So now let us take realistic cases. For example, let us say there is a business data. Yes or no? Yeah. So let us say we got a business data, and then actual law. data related to this business is what? So actual source data. So which means what? Source data should work based on what? Business data. Which means there has to be a linkage between the business data and source data. Yes or no? Then we could able to start making these two guys to interact with each other based on some linkage. Linkage means what? Let's say we have, like yesterday we talked about primary key foreign key relationship, right? So we can have this kind of relationship. Yeah. So and see whether you could able to convert this kind of what I call business and source data to what XML, which is hierarchical, right? So now let us say we got a Salesforce data. Let me take one realistic business case where we use this particular what I call conversion. See, usually in Salesforce we all know, right? It's one of the CRM based application, customer relationship management based application, right? Yes or no? So I've just picked up one of the CRM application, which is Salesforce. Salesforce, they usually maintain what customers data, right? So and customers with its associated what I call linked tables or objects we call, right? Now, in that case also, we have multiple tables or multiple objects with their what you call interrelationship, account, supplier, account, vendor, supplier, and so on. Now, the question, if you have such kind of what you call interrelated objects, now that we need to know how to pull the data based on what interrelationship so that we can start getting it converted to hierarchical. Let's say between what vendor and supplier. You got right? That's one example. So similarly, we can also think, let's say telecom industry, right? Especially telecom service providers, where they maintain what you call, or they provide a service for different kinds of customers. Yeah. So, and the customers are spread across multiple parts of the globe. Let us take that example. In that case, can we see any relationship among n number of customers who are spread across multiple parts of the globe? Answer is yes. Yeah. For example, let's say there could be one person. Let's take one person. Yeah. So, or yeah, let's take one person only. So let's say one person visited from India to Singapore. Example, right? So now the question, we need to start pulling the data from Singapore source system and also India source system and see do we have any interrelated records that are associated to one person. In such cases also, we could start taking care of it, which means two sources but related to one person data. Yeah. So likewise, you can think of many examples where pharma industry can think based on different types of medications huh, produced by multiple pharma companies. And similarly, you can also think manufacturing industry, whatever. Yeah. Now we also know the business cases where we can think of using this particular concept, which is converting n to what one. So n number of sources to one single target. Right. So yeah. Now let us talk about how we could do it. Or let us take a sample data, and for that particular sample data, can we take care of doing that within IICS, especially data integration or not? Answer is what? Yes. Yeah. So let us try doing it. Yeah. The first thing, let's go to what we call source, where let us say there is a one master file where I just kept what company name and address. Yeah. Because now I need to concentrate. Yeah. Now we are going to convert the theoretical part to reality with a simple example. Yeah. So first is what? A master file which contains the company name and address. Yes or no? So First National Bank, Jackson Industry, and test. Let's take three. Or we can take out this thing. Let's say we have got two. Fine. So that's it. First National Bank and Jackson Industry, right? And corresponding address. So now the question, for every company, there could be n number of people who are associated to that, right? Assuming that n number of employees are working for this particular bank, First National Bank. Similarly, second bank. So n number of employees. So for each employee, you'll have corresponding data. Now for that, that will be maintained in some other file. Let's say sequence names details. Can you see, guys? So there is a second field which is employee, and first employee, second employee, and third employee. Three employees are belonging to one particular bank, which is what? First National Bank. Yes or no? And corresponding details for each of those employees is what? Like a department, building, and room. Yes or no? We could able to see that. No? So same concept holds good even for what? Jackson Industry, where we could able to see again three employees are associated to Jackson Industry with a corresponding. Let's say we are going to take out these two. Yeah? Let's take only two just to understand clearly. Clear, guys? So this is a master data. This is a detailed data. What is the relationship between these two? Based on which column? Which column, guys? Company name, First National Bank and First National Bank. Yes or no? Which means, let's say this is a primary key, which is the First National Bank, which will become as foreign key to this, where we can say one to many, right? One bank data in master, multiple banks data in detail. That's clear, no? So we can have detail means multi. So there are three records, and each record has got its own related data. That's it. Yeah. Clear, guys? With respect to sample data between the master and detail. Yes or no? Yeah. Any questions on this sample data before we get into the usage of these two rows as two files? Yes, Balaji?
So the master you're saying the national
I
bank, the
request I
master.
request everyone to go on a mute, guys, except Balaji. Go ahead, Balaji.
No, in the data, as per the data, so the master is the national bank. That is the master, and other details. Other one is the detail. That's what you're saying. If I'm
Yes.
not okay.
Yes, Balaji. You got right? Yeah. So any other questions?
How do we identify the difference between a master file and so do we go by the file name? That is how usually like in the industry
Yeah,
when it
that's a
comes
good
to
question. Guys, remember that, yeah. So, yes, by name, yes, we can identify, but if people have followed the proper naming convention, that's not mandatory, Ravi. So, let's say assuming that they have not followed any naming convention. In that case, also, so remember, I think I talked about information management life cycle, right? Within that, once you pull the data, what is the first and foremost thing we do? Discover, meaning we carry out analysis, Ravi. As part of analysis, one can come up with like how these files have been organized with respect to data. So that's what we do, Ravi. So assuming that they have not followed naming convention, in that case, as part of analysis, we can identify that. Ravi. Clear?
okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. Fine. So that's a manual way to do it. We also have got automated way to do it. One, by using AI tools. Second, by using what pre-built analysis tools. Especially if you take Informatica also, the Informatica product suite, you guys would have used what Informatica Data Explorer or Informatica Analyst. Using those tools also, when one can identify the kind of relationship that we have. Yeah. Fine. Anyway, we have a bunch of other tools. I'm not talking about other than Informatica product suite, guys. Let us stick to Informatica. So, fine. Any other questions, guys? So, Sekhar, Santosh, Sagarika, Raymond, Matharati, Manu, Bhatta, Balasi, Ali, all. Yeah, fine. So, I hope it is make sure that each and every point we understand clearly, guys. Yeah. So, master data and detailed data. So, one to many relationship we saw it. So, for every one bank, we got n number of employees associated. Remember, yeah, like a department employee table, guys. So, so let us say in one department there'll be n number of employees. Same thing here for every bank, there'll be n number of employees here. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So now the question. Now we understood the data part. Now the next question: how to read this particular data from multiple sources with the interlinkage and start getting it converted to XML. To do that, we have got what is a pre-built uh, transformation, which we call hierarchy builder. Yeah, you can also do it without that also, but let us start with whatever it's supported by IICS. Yeah. Hierarchy builder, as the name suggests, guys, building hierarchy, no hierarchy builder, which means convert relational to hierarchy. Yeah. So that we do it here. So this guy takes data from two sources with interrelationship, then start getting it converted to hierarchy. That's the goal of this. Now let us say, let us say, can we perform similar thing just without using this hierarchy builder? Answer is yes. We'll talk about it once we finish this. Okay. So now let us try to get into the tool. Yeah. Yeah. So as in IICS, let's say we are trying to make use of what data integration. Yeah. Okay. Now agent is ready to use. It's the second one, right? Will make use of it. Now let us try to create a new mapping where let us try to organize 2 to 1. So which means two sources. I'll just try to remove this. And then there's a one more source. Yeah. So in between, we can make use of what I call hierarchy builder. That's what our goal, right? You can clearly see this iconic representation itself. Minute one. Now, in order to configure this particular hierarchy builder, can you think of
Uh,
what could be the
Nachima,
prerequisite, guys? Yeah.
Nachima, yesterday you have used parser from source as a XML to like flat file, correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah. Source is XML. To read, we have used hierarchy parser. You're right, Bharat. Yeah. So now we are trying to do other way. Source is relational. Target is a hierarchical. To do that, we are using hierarchy builder. Now tell me, question. I was trying to ask one question. Do we need any prerequisite to build this particular hierarchy, guys? answer is yes. Yeah. So that's where we can create what we call again hierarchical schema. So how do I do that? Can you see here if you go to output settings, see this expects what? Schema. Yes or no? Yeah. So schema should be the prerequisite, which means XSD. So now let us try to understand what I call XSD. So let's say one of the XSD that I'm trying to open here. So which is this? Yeah. First, let's understand this. Then I think we've already seen the data, right? So to read the data, we need meta, right? So meta, let's say here we are using XSD. What is the first one, guys? Header. We all know that, which will have version of XML, encoding, and other things are optional. And XML type, the second one. Then scope, if you want to use the scope, like colon, whatever, right? Now, let us talk about element. The first and foremost element here is what top level element? Employees. Within that, we got a structure. What it contains? Name, address. With occurs means N. So employee. See here. So which means for every name, we can have N number of N or one. It could be N could be one or two, three, whatever. Like employee ID, department, subdivision. Within subdivision, we got building and room. So we can clearly see just by looking at this particular XSD itself, one can understand how the data expectation would be. Yes or no? This is a company name and address. We have seen in a master file, right? Yes or no? Company name and address. In detailed file, we have seen employee data. So which means n number of employees associated to relevant company. Yeah. So like employee ID with a company. Yeah. So that's what we can see occurs. Like yesterday we saw dependence or occurs, right? So same thing. And subdivision intern has got building and room. So 1, 2, 3 related records, right? Yes or no? So now we can see top level element here, which is employees, and then we can see underneath elements like whatever we have discussed earlier, right? So that's it, right? And we all know that for every tag there will be corresponding close tag. For example, sequence got opened here and closed here. First and another complex type got opened here and closed. And next is what? Element. Yeah. So opening element and closing it, whatever, right? So then we again one more sequence and complex type, sequence complex type. Then followed by again we can see sequence complex type. This one sequence complex type. Then finally we can see this element is closing here, and then and schema is getting closed here. This is for every open tag there will be corresponding closed tag. This is a bit complex XML, guys, compared to yesterday, like what we discussed. Yesterday is very straightforward. Yeah? So where we have seen what I call it just looks like a linear data yesterday, right? But this is really good for XSD file, which has got a proper relationship with with little complexity. It's not very complex, little complex. Yeah? So that's it.
The employee attribute is not there in our file anywhere, right? So how are you going to
Which one?
the employee element name employee?
This
Because
one,
we
right?
have come, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, remember, guys, this is the data, right? This is structure, right? Yes or no? So we expect data in accordance with this structure. For example, name address is there, employee ID, department, subdivision, building room. This is just like a representation, Ravi, like organizing. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's why it has a minimum occurs and max. Okay, now I
exactly.
understand. Yeah,
Like,
understand now. Yes.
like yesterday also we saw for address, right? Occurs, remember? So this is similar to that. Yeah.
So,
So
Yes,
Nasima,
please.
which developer
this
has to
XML file. Okay, go
Yeah, one
ahead.
by one.
Okay, go ahead. No problem.
So developer has to define this XSD structure, or it's like we will get this from the business itself.
Yes. So, yeah, there are two ways I think I talked about it. See, usually this structure part or modeling part should be taken care by separate team, which we call modeling team. They're responsible for that. But in case if you don't have any modeling team, right, then a developer should take care of it. Yeah, right.
And if they are doing any mistake, so we have to understand where exactly the mistake is in the syntax.
Yeah. So in case of any mistake with respect to structure, right?
Hmm.
Logically, we should talk to data modeling team to get it fixed. That's the structured way of doing it. But if there is no modeling team, then developers can take care of it. No fixing. Developers should not fix that, which created by modeling team. Remember that. Yeah. Because they might have some business perspective, right? Yes or no? So that's why we should never fix it. Yeah. Yeah. I think there was one more question, right? Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so Narsima, suppose in future somebody change the structure. So that scenario, you need
Mm.
to update your mapping and all everything.
Yes, that's a good question. Remember, guys, usually this change should not take place. Usually, if at all happens, right, definitely there is going to be impact. Uh, Bharat, that's always there. But remember, remember, we should always try to build a generic solution. With that generic solution, in case of future changes also, it should take care by itself, which means we should build a solution in such a way that it is like what templatized or generics we call. Yes or no? Because now we are in, let's say, AI stage, right? In the sense, artificial intelligence stage. We should not think of what uh, redoing the same thing which is already done. Which means if some change happens in near future, our solution should be in a position to take care of it by itself. I'll talk about it. How to convert this as a what? Templatized solution over what? Specific. Remember that. Because in IICS, there are multiple ways what to take care of temporary solution rather than what? Specific thing. Like if you take power center or data quality in local environment, what you said is right, Bharat. Any change that happens, right, there is going to be change request. For every change request, then there's a process, right, like a design
Yes.
change, all that, then followed by developers
Yes.
part will come in
Okay.
where we
Same
change the code.
process. Okay. From top
Exactly,
to bottom level, we
exactly,
have practiced. Okay.
exactly. You're right. That is a legacy stuff. That is gone. Those days are gone. Now, what we need to overcome that problem. To do that, if you build a templatized solution, right, then it is gone. Whatever change that you do, right, that change will be taken care by itself automatically. I'll talk about some business scenarios with examples like how to take care of such kind of future changes. Bharat?
Yes, yes. Yeah, agree, Nasima. So
Yeah,
one more question, Nasima.
yeah.
Suppose developer needs to develop a XSD file. That
Mhm.
scenario for your case, suppose it comes to you, or how is are you using any tool to build up XSD and validation and all?
Yes,
Testing.
there are many open source what you call XSD schema generators, so we can just make use of it, then change it based on our requirement. Yeah, that's the best practice. See, there are nowadays we've got bunch of AI tools in the market, so we can just make use of to create. Even without AI, also there are lots of other tools to generate XSD. Yeah. Others, if you are sure about what you're doing with respect to XML syntax, then you yourself can do that. There are many ways. Bharat. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Fine. Probably if I get it, I'll try to show it, like how to generate this XML or JSON or XSD or WSDL or DTD or triple. There are multiple structures, right? Probably if, I'll try to show in one session like how to generate data or metadata in multiple formats automatically by using what AI tools. Fine. Okay. So yeah, so structure and data. I think both are clear, guys. Yes or no? Yes or no? That's what is required to process. Next step is what? We need to process it. So that's where we use integration tool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Narasimha, lately there is a lot of talk about JSON files, Parquet files, Avro. So, I mean, these are like, all these are like structured data or unstructured data.
Oh, Ravi, you're trying to ask question, right? So actually, I was away. Actually, there was some power cut here. So yes, what we got different types of file, Parquet file, Avro file. Actually, they are all unstructured,
Mhm.
logically speaking. Ravi,
Oh, okay.
is that what you're
Okay.
trying to ask, Ravi?
Oh, yeah, they're all unstructured. Right? So, would you be covering those as part of our training in the future?
Yes, definitely. Because
Okay.
see,
Because a lot of
IICS,
JSON files, we talk about a lot of JSON, right? I don't know anything about
exactly.
JSON, so yeah.
I'll talk about with like on presentation. Then after that, like understanding concepts of JSON, how it will be represented. Then we'll make use of it to get it processed. And that I'll talk about because we are going to talk about what you call
Mhm.
app integration also, right? Application to application integration.
Okay, right.
One
Yeah.
cloud to
Okay,
other
thank
cloud,
you.
right? Yeah. So that time I'll cover that. Yeah, fine. So now let us try to let me share my desktop. It's there, right? Okay. So let's get into the tool, guys. Yeah. The first thing what we need to do, what is the prerequisite here? Schema. So now, how to create a schema, guys? Let's make it interactive because this is very easy, no? From here on, it's easy. See, once you have very strong
Yeah,
foundation concept, very easy.
you can go to business components, something components, and then
Yes,
create a
schema, right? Yeah, perfect, Sagarika. So go to new and select components and select hierarchical schema. This is what you are saying, right? Yeah,
yes.
this is perfect. So any other way we could do it, guys, other than this? Without this also we can do it, which means we can also create within mapping level also. We'll see that later. So let us create. Yeah. Guys, I request everyone to go on a mute. Okay, sorry. Thank you. So now let us talk about hierarchical schema based on what multiple sources with complex structure. Okay. Yeah. So let's say we are using default. So let's not spend time for this creation of project for it's very easy, but we'll see later. Now let us try to upload that file. So go to choose file. Yeah. So and go to that location where we have this structure, right? Yes, structure. Yeah. Let's confirm whether it's okay or not. Yeah. So we can see, right? Top level element is employee. Then we can see name, address, and detailed employee data, ID, department, subdivision. Then within that, building name. I think we refer the right schema, right? Yes or no? So yes, say okay. Yeah. So we got a root element. Yesterday we saw just root, right? Instead of employees, whatever, right? Yesterday XML was different. Now let's set it. Yeah. So that's it. Now we closed it. Now the prerequisite to build hierarchical data is ready to use. Yes or no? Now where do we use it? In hierarchy builder. Now let us try to configure hierarchy builder, guys. Yeah. So go to select and go to default project Now, can you see here this one, right? Just now we have just created, right? Hierarchies given multiple sources, complex structure. Yeah, it is valid. Yeah. So now that we selected this, yes, sir. This is a precision. So omit null values, output format string. Yeah. So which means complete data would be stored in what XML? XML, what is the type corresponds to XML, guys? String. And what is the length here? Based on the number of characters that we have within a source or within a structure, right? So the corresponding precision should be given. Remember that. Yeah. So that's it. So enable pass-through fields if you want it, or if you want to generate intermediate file, you can specify the part. It's optional. Let's say we are going to send output of this to a final target. Yeah. But if you take output of this, that will become as input to some other transformation. Then in that case, we can also generate intermediate file, which is a result of hierarchy builder. Yeah. Anyway, we are directly using output of this particular hierarchy builder that will be transferred to a target. And in that case, we don't need to use that intermediate file. Right? Now, let us try to
Narasimha, just quick question. You said if we are using the output of the hierarchical builder to the next transformation, then
Mhm.
we need to select the intermediate file, right?
We need to say it's not mandatory. We can select just for debugging purpose, it will be useful. Is that hierarchy builder generating the right data or not? Sagarika, fine, but it's not mandatory. Yeah.
Can you
So
demonstrate that? Can you demonstrate so that we understand what it is doing?
yeah, for example, yeah, hierarchy builder, what it does, it is going to convert these two
No,
files.
no,
Let's
the right to file, if we want to do
yeah,
stage immediately.
we specify, let's say C
Mhm.
colon
Okay.
target and hierarchy builder dot XML example. Yes or no? So
Mm-hmm.
we just which means result of this particular what you call relational will be kept in intermediate file, which is some file, intermediate form. Yeah. And but yeah, why we need to do that? Let's say output of that hierarchy builder should be taken as input, let's say aggregator or something else. In that case, we don't know whether this particular hierarchy builder is generating right result or not. Yes or no? In
Okay.
such cases, we can just maintain it as intermediate file. That's optional. You got it, Sagarika?
Yep.
Guys,
So before, so
that,
before that, is it dynamically creating the file there, hp.xml, or we have to create?
It will create by itself. We don't need to create.
Okay. We have to give a name here, right? hb
Yeah,
dot.
name should be given by us. Yes, you are right, sir. So you have to give the name. Yeah. So because we are expecting, right? If you specify checkbox, if you enable checkbox, right? It is mandatory that we need to give the name. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
okay. One
If you
question,
don't select,
Narasimha. So when we are writing a file to, so let's say our goal is to generate an XML file directly.
hmm.
So we don't need a target, right? We can just write it here and put the path. It will
Yeah,
generate.
we
Okay.
can do it. But
Oh,
but
mhm.
but what we are trying to do here, just to have a what you call, if you want to convert this particular mapping to a task, right? For every mapping, it expects what target you got, right? Got it.
Okay, got it.
In that, which means normally what happens, guys, please go on mute. We build a task flow, right? Yes or no? Where we connect n number of tasks in sequence or parallel. So that's why we always go with what for every source there'll be one or more targets. Then we can create a task, start make moves after as part of task flows. Clear, right?
Okay, got it,
Yeah,
got it.
fine. So that's it. Now
Oh, this is
let us.
mainly for debugging purpose only. So once hierarchy
Yeah,
target is there,
exactly,
if we write
exactly.
it to a file, that is just for our debugging purpose internally. Okay,
Exactly,
okay,
exactly.
got
For
it.
debugging, we use this. Yes, you are right. Yeah. Yeah. So now let us try to map first source data to hierarchy builder and second source data to what hierarchy builder. Yeah. So now, so let us try to what we call configure this. Yeah. Yeah.
Narsimha,
Just a
there
minute.
is a background noise.
Just a minute.
On your high school football team. His name is John Gillum. He's been already thrown the ball
I
at
think
60.
Sagarika, we are hearing a lot of feedback from your side. Would you mind going on mute, please?
Yeah, fine. So let us try to, what, now it's clear, right? Yeah, fine. So let us try to configure the source. Yeah, the connection settings are same, guys, as we discussed. Yeah. So we have used web source file connection, right? Yes or no? And specify the file. So first one, let's say we go with what? Master file, which is SEQ names. Yeah. Yes or no? That's it. Yeah. So let us confirm the data also. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see, guys? So we got two entries, right? One for First National Bank and second for Jackson Industry. Yes or no? Yeah. So far, so good, right? Yes or no, guys? To everyone?
Yeah.
Fine. Say done. First part is done.
But
Now,
we are reading two files, right? Two source files. So
yes, yes. Yeah,
you
one
mentioned
is
here,
done.
okay,
Yeah, yes, ready.
it is showing like object type. So it mentioned like singular, right?
No, I didn't get it. Can you please repeat?
Can you select the first one that we just,
Okay. Okay, one second. Let me open that.
yes. Source type. It is showing
Yes,
single
source
object.
type is single object. Yes.
So
Yes,
we
see,
are going to
we
read
got
two
multiple
files.
categories. Yeah, single object means it's a data file,
I see.
like a
Okay.
directory we have in Power Center, similar to that.
Okay.
If you are
So
using
see,
parameter file, then we have to use parameter, right? Or if you are
yeah,
using
that's a different. Yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, let me talk about what do they do. See, single object is a direct data file. File list is what? List of files where you have a top level file which in turn contains actual data files. Yes or no? For
Okay.
example, if you get data from multiple states where the structure is same, but data differs from state to state. In that case, we use what? File list. Yes or no? We use indirect concept here. You got no? And command is what? We can also have a shell script or a bash script where we can start reading the data like path, file name, all that we can specify. Then in that case, we can make use of the command. And fourth is what? Parameterization. Let us say you are not sure about the file, and that will be decided while running this particular task. In such cases, we choose what? Parameter option. Clear, right? Yes or no? So
So we
that's
are
it.
not like using any source qualifier or joiner to join these two files.
That will come to that. Yes, anyway, we can do that. But now we are focusing on our concept here is what? How to convert n number of sources to one single target with relationships. That is our requirement. Yeah, I'll come to that, like how to combine the data from multiple sources by using a join or look or whatever, right? I'll get there. Yeah. So fine.
That was fun.
Yeah. So see, remember, guys, initially we will try to focus on individual concepts, and later on we'll try to put it together so that you will understand independently. Plus, we can also understand what how to combine them together to meet our end expectation. You know, we need to understand both. Then only we can build a solution, guys. Yes, sir. If I directly jump onto what is a combining multiple transformations and build solution, right? It's very difficult to understand. Yes, sir. Yes, especially if they are beginners, even if you have experience also, if you try to combine all of them in one stretch, it's very difficult to digest. That's why one by one I normally cover. Then we'll try to put it together so that we can easily understand. Yeah, fine. So now the next question. I hope this is clear, right? That source type, single object, command, or file list. Yeah, fine. So now let us try to configure what second source. Yeah. So go to second source and specify the connection. So we placed two files in a single location, which we call source directory, right? Yes or no? Let us try to refer this particular connection. Yeah. And then file name. So where we have got detailed data. Yes or no? It's a child data. Yeah. So let us try to search for it and specify the second file. Clear, guys? So that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Then we can preview the data. Yes. Can you see, guys? So whatever we have seen in the notepad, right? Same thing we can see. First three records are associated to one bank where we got multiple employees. Yeah. So which means n number of employees are belonging to one bank. 3 employees are belong to one bank. Similarly, so other records, right? So that's it. Yeah. And then say done. Yeah. Over. Now the next step is what? We need to map it. Like we yesterday we did, no? Request mapping and response, right? Same thing we need to do, right? So now if you go to incoming fields, where can you see, guys, all the fields here? Yeah. And from where these fields have been originated, or from where these fields have come from. Can you see, guys? Address, it has come from SEQ names. I hope you can see, right? Yes or no? Address has come from SEQ names file, and building has come from details file. Company name has come from, again, master file, and all other what you call fields like a department, employee ID, name, room, right? They're all derived from detail file. So we can, from this, we can clearly say that from where these fields have been derived. Yes or no? Any questions, any confusion here, guys? Yeah. Yeah. I hope it is clear. Yeah. Yeah. Including exclusive part, I'll come to that. For now, let's say we are focusing on all the fields. Yeah. Now the next question. Let us say, do we need to care about input settings here, guys? Answer is no, because yesterday we focused on that because based on the input schema, we converted to expected target. Today, based on output schema, see, our end result is what? Based on our expectation. What is our expectation? Some schema. That schema should be from output settings, not from input settings. Remember, yesterday, goal was different. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Now the next question, how are we going to get it mapped? Yeah, clear, right? So yeah, before we get into this, any questions on these other properties, guys? Incoming fields, input settings, and output settings. I hope it is clear, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
Narasimha. So looks like we need to have some kind of denormalized data in order to achieve this, right?
Exactly.
Because
You're
yeah, if we
perfect.
have a normalized tables, then we have to denormalize it first and then build the hierarchy.
Exactly. You are right. Yeah. Fine. So now, assuming that we all have understood all these properties, right? Yeah. Now let us try to expand. See, first source, it's master, right? It contains 2 fields in it, and detail, it contains 5 fields in it. No? So I think we all know that we have seen the data also, right? Now there is a data with a corresponding relationship. Now we need to build a relationship within a tool, right? To do that, let's say this is a primary key, which is a company name. Click on this key and specify primary key. Clear, no? That's the first thing, which is a master, right? And similarly, foreign key, which is second source, where you click on a key and specify what? Foreign key. Foreign key to first source, which is source. That's it. Now we have built a linkage within itself, which means within hierarchy builder itself. We have not done it outside of it, which means it itself will take care of it. So we have just configured it. Now, the next question, we need to send it to a target. So on the right side, we can just expand this, yes or no, where we can see here. So we have clearly seen this XSD, right, which contains what? Name, address in one master. Then can you see here, Ravi, to answer your question, it's a categorization. Employee data. It's a substructure, right? Within that, we got employee ID, department, whatever. Yeah, just like a categorization. No.
Okay.
So that's it. Now let us try to map it here. So name to name, address to address, and employee ID to employee ID, department to department, building to building, and room to room. That's it. So here we are trying to do it manually. But in case if we have any smart match, that smart match in the sense exact similar columns. In that case, we can also go with the auto match. But especially when we try to deal with hierarchical data, right? It is always advisable to do it by using what? Manual approach. Remember. Yes. So yeah, now we can see here what is mapped, what is unmapped. Can you see all the fields on the left side, which are bold in color, which means they're all mapped. You know, see unmapped one, which is highlighted, yes or no, name, because we've already done it. So both are also primary, foreign, right? One we have already mapped it. This is optional. So that also can be seen. Yeah, all the mapped ones. Unmapped ones also, can you see here? Which is only one, which is not mapped. No. And if you want to see keys, only keys, see here. So primary key, which is company name, and foreign key, which is a name. So we can clearly understand all of them individually, or if you want to see all of them together, that also can be done. So we can see keys, primary key, foreign key, and all are highlighted or with a tick mark, right? So which means they're all mapped. Yeah. Whatever is not ticked, it is unmapped. Yeah. So that's another way to denote these things. Yeah. On the right side also, we can do the same thing, guys. Show all or see only show map. Whichever is bold in color, which indicates what? They all got mapped. Whichever is not bold in color. So in this case, all are grayed out. So which is not mapped, unmapped. Show required. See, mandatory ones are required in the sense categories, guys, like root element, subroot element, subroot element, like level 1, level 2, whatever, right? It's like hierarchy, we represented by using what? Levels, right? I think we talked about that. Yes or no? So if you want to say the number of levels, or we can say structure, substructure, substructure, right? Then we can go with what? Show required, which is mandatory. No? And if you want to search also, we can also do it. No? Like a search for, let's say, room example. So we can just type it. See here. Now we could able to see room. See, when do we need that? If we have very complex hierarchy which contains too many levels, right? In that case, we can go for what? Search option. But in our case, so we could able to see in a single page. So we don't need this particular search. In case if you have this particular hierarchy which is spread across multiple windows or pages, right? Then we can use what? Search option. Clear, guys, to everyone? Yes or no? And we have got pre-controlled buttons here, like expand. This one plus is expand. This is for compress. Yes or no? And same thing here. If you want to compress, we can use it. If you want to expand, we can use this plus button. Clear, guys? I think I covered all here. Yes, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So now let us try to restore and specify the target details. Yeah. So incoming fields, nothing here because we did not map it. Let us try to first configure the target connection. Then we'll try to get it mapped. Yeah. Yeah. So web target file connection. Then specify the target file. So now remember, guys, target, we can specify XML representation, but we can also have a .txt also. We can see XML file in the notepad also, right? But anyway, so we'll see here hierarchy builder. Yeah. So let's say hierarchy builder target .txt. Yeah. So assuming that based on two sources we are trying to build what you call hierarchy. Yeah. Two sources, right? So let's be very specific here, because at the end of this training, right, we'll try to export all the activities like what we did to XML file. So that file you can use it for reference for future, right? Yes or no? Yeah. That's the best way, guys. Instead of having these recordings, documents, right? We can export, put in XML, import it on your environment, and see what we have done. Yeah. That would contain everything, right? Okay. So that's it, guys, about target connection. This we know it. Now,
Rename the target name which we
sorry.
can rename, right? If you want to
Oh,
rename
target.
how
This one we can change the name. Let's say
here
TZT. Yeah, here so we can change. See, they want to make the change. Yeah, we change it. No,
Thank
right? This is a text box, or we can also use select button to select it. Anything is fine. Yeah. See, if we have existing files, no, then we can go with what select and pick up the target file, which is existing option. Yeah.
then
If you want a new one, right, we can just use either this text box or we can also use this text box. Anything is fine. Yeah. Fine. So that's it, guys. Now let us try to map output of this particular hierarchy builder to target. That's it. So now let us specify the mapping name, which is mapping hierarchy builder based on what? Two sources. Yep. That's it. I repeat. So mapping based on what? Two sources where we are trying to build hierarchical data. No? So that's it. No? And save it. Yeah. So any questions on this, guys? So this mapping itself indicates what 2 to 1, right? Two sources, one target. Yeah. So that's it. Now, if you want to organize it based on its own format, which is IICS, you can just click on that button. Yeah. So this will organize in this way. Yeah. But anyway, if you're not happy with this, you can organize by yourself, guys, based on your own choice. So that's it, guys. Now let us try to save it. Yeah. So once it is done, now we can get it executed to look at the effect of conversion. Yeah. So now there are two agents. One is active. Let us select active agent. Yeah. And run. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So let's wait for a while. So meantime, if you have any questions, right? So let's use this time for it.
I have a generic question.
Yes, please.
So normally, for example, if you have a DB2 table with one column dedicated to XML data, so why normally if I apply like substring function or in-string function on this XML type column, it doesn't work? I mean, any reason like that? Because it's not able to read that XML data, but everything is like a character, right? I mean, like if I want to
Yes.
pull the
Yeah, Mathad, can you please repeat our question? There is some disturbance here. Yeah.
Okay. So my question is basically like if I want to apply substring function or instring function on XML data,
Okay.
so it doesn't work. I mean, I tried like a couple of times before parsing
Yes.
this one for some test cases. So that's one.
Okay. Which means you are trying to read the XML data and try to apply in-string or substring function. They are not working. Is that what a question?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So logically it should work. But in case if it doesn't work, then we need to convert XML to some other form. But it should work. I'll show one example method already. Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, that's one of the realistic question actually. Whatever method you asked. Yeah. See, yes, there are some
So,
older versions where there is some problem. Even newer versions also, for some functions there is a problem. For some it works because it's still under evolution, right? So yes, it happens. Yeah. Any other questions?
Natsimaya, any limitations on this hierarchy builder? It will support only particular formats, something like that.
Yeah. By default, hierarchy builder supports only two sources, guys. If you want to extend this to what n number of sources, we cannot do it. So what we need to do? So output of one hierarchy builder that should be taken as input to one more source. That way we need to start building hierarchy based on what? If you have more than two source system with interlinkage. Balaji. But how to overcome that? If you have a provision to take care of all multiple sources in a single hierarchy builder, right? That should be the best option. But they have not done it, Balaji. Balaji got right answer?
Yeah, Narasimha.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bharat.
Natsimaya.
Let's say my person can have multiple addresses, right? Like in a file, let's say in a detailed file, if the person, the employee ID has multiple addresses, so that shouldn't be an issue, right? So we can just pass it to the hierarchy builder and it will put it as
Yeah.
a occurs.
Oh, that's a good question, guys. In that case, there has to be one more level. For example, let's say we got in detail file for every employee there is a one record only. Yes or no, Ravi? Now for the same employee, if we got more than one address, then there is a problem. So we need to maintain one more relationship between what employee and addresses. You got Ravi? So then we can pull n number of addresses associated to each employee that way, Ravi. Or else you'll get a wrong result in the target. If you try to have, let's say, maintain in a single detail file n number of addresses, Ravi.
So that scenario, our XSD file also get updated, and we need to
Yeah.
add.
Not updated. We have to modify it. It will not get
Okay.
updated automatically. Bharat.
Yeah, we need to manually modify it.
Exactly. You are right.
Okay, so in the
That's a good.
XSD, we have to put that in occurs and all that, right? Multiple
Exactly.
occurrences.
Occurs and addresses one more. Yeah, you are right. Substructure. Yeah, you are right.
Okay, so that way it will take care of it, even if there are multiple
Exactly.
addresses. Okay.
Exactly. You are right. Yeah. I think yesterday we have seen that kind of example, right? It's like one to many. So one with multiple addresses, right? Like
Yeah.
I think
So here in this scenario, we are going to add one more child.
exactly. So one more, let us say substructure, like a complex type sequence, right? Within that, we'll add n number of attributes. Yes. Yeah, that's good realistic questions. Mathematical question and probably all questions. Yeah. Any other questions? Ali, Raymond, Sagarika, and others, guys. So you need to ask questions. Any kind of question, guys. Start asking. Yeah. Ali, you're there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. Any questions?
So far, no, Narasimha.
Okay, good. So how about
Understanding.
Raymond? So I need to make sure that we're all active, guys.
No question right now. So Narasimha, one thing just is if I do class like 5 days in a week, I'm not able to do practice at home. That's why Not a whole fast.
Oh, so, it's, I think looks like a date. You're working whole day and then again sitting for just in the
Right,
night.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Overloaded, right? Yeah, I understand that.
Overloaded.
Or else, see, it's a flexible, guys. If you guys are okay, right? So weekdays probably we can spend less time, and weekends we can have longer hours. It's a flexible. It's all your call. Whichever you like, we can go for it. Yeah.
Uh, Maybe we can take
Actually,
like
I prefer in the weekends we can do the practice of the week what we are going through with this lesson, because everybody, I believe others are also busy in the daytime and just coming in the nighttime for this class.
Right, right.
So
Right,
weekends.
right. Yeah, whichever you like. See, but see, some people may they like that's a day during what you call weekdays, right? They'll just attend, and weekend they'll practice. Or some
Yeah.
people they'll attend and practice on weekends only. It all depends. So yeah, again, choice is I'll leave it to you guys. So it's a
Yeah.
flexible. If you want, we can change it.
Nasima, you told like you will help to make a like our side for practice. That
Yeah, we'll install this. Yeah. So
oh,
about it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll plan for it so that
oh,
I'll talk about step-by-step instructions to register, install, configure, and start getting into the hands-on. All of them I'm going to talk. Yeah.
sure, sure. Thanks.
Yeah. So any other questions from anybody? Yeah. So now let us get into this status. Yeah. So we got two rows here. Why two rows, guys? In master, we got two rows, and in detail, we got more than that. Now tell me, is this the right count or not? Just by looking at the summary information, can we say that we got the right result or not?
Because we have two companies, it is looking
I
it
don't
as
think it's
Yes, you are right. We have only two companies, right? For every company, there will be detailed data. That will be part of XML. XML, we know, right? One to many. One parent,
mm,
multiple children. So in that corresponding level, it will take care sub records. That is correct. Only master records can be seen here. Detailed records can be seen in the target file. Yeah? So let us click on it to look at the statistics, right? Like what it is produced. Yes or no? No. Let's say source some 7 rows and 2 rows and target 2. No. This error part, I'll talk about it. Yeah. So let's focus on the valid data in the target. Yeah. So let's go to target. This one, right? Let's open this. Yeah. So this XML file anyway, but we cannot see it in Notepad. And that's fine. So output is a field, right? So from where we got this output field name, guys? Yeah. Step by step, you need to understand clearly, no? From where we got it? Is it from target or result of builder? Yeah.
builder.
Yeah. Any output of builder that will be taken as input to what target anyway, right? Yes or no? So we can see either there or here. Yeah. So can you see here output field name? Yeah. Why want a string? Yesterday we talked about no. We dealt in opposite way. In a sense, we stored complete XML data in a string. Remember? Yeah, like we give the path as a field name and pointing to the XML file that has been stored in an input, right? Input is one of the field in hierarchy parser. We mapped it. Same way here. So complete data it is stored in what string with the corresponding field name. That's all, nothing else. Yeah, I think we have seen right output field name and the precision type is a string as part of hierarchy builder. Yes or no? I think we have seen that. I talked about that. Yeah. So, like we talked about.
ideally, we don't want to see that name, right? Output in the XML. So
No,
is there a way
if you want,
to,
we can change that.
okay, you can change that property, remove that
Yeah,
output from that XML file.
exactly. We can do that.
Okay.
No? So that is always possible. Yeah. So now let us talk about so the column name we got it. Next is what? How we represent XML. We start with a what you call header, right? No, with version, all that. No? So encoding is optional. Version is mandatory. No? So yeah, now let us start with the data. Employees is what, guys? So which is going to be the root. Yeah. Then within that, we got first bank, First National Bank with corresponding address. Let's open this source data. Already open. No? Yes. So can you say, guys, First National Bank and address is what? Whatever, 874 Lewis Road, right? So let us see whether it is matching or not. It's here only, right? Yes. So First National Bank, 874 Lewis. This is perfect, right? And so name address we got it for the First National Bank. Now, and there are n number of employees associated to each bank. Example, first employee 122 and second employee 261, third employee 431. Yeah. Let us see we got the right data in the source or not. Yeah. So let's say here, right? See 122, 261 and 431. Clear, no? They're all associated to same bank. Clear, right? Yes or no? Now, we need for every employee, we also need other details like a department, building, room. That we need to take a look at. Yeah. So let's say first employee, this is a department, this is a building, this is a room. Let's credit 61532. So credit 61532. It's matching perfectly, right? We need to make sure that we are reading the complete data, guys, without any issues. Yeah. So that's it. Similarly, for second employee, right? So we can see whatever credit 62251. Yeah. Credit 62251. Yeah. Then we can go with the fourth, last one, right? Where is that? Yeah, 431. Credit 65312. Yeah. Credit 65312. That's it. So first bank is clear. Now, same way, we need to go with what second, which is second company, right? Which is manufacturing company. Yeah. Remember, guys, in this particular hierarchy builder, for every record, it will treat it as what? A separate XML file. Remember that. Because let us say, if you want to store the result of this particular hierarchy builder in multiple targets, which is per record or per company, let's say we need to maintain a separate target. In such cases, we have to have header for each. So that is why they are taking care of maintaining the header per master record. Remember that. No? Or else you can ask question, why can't we have one common header which can be used for all the rows that we have in it? Normally, XML will be represented in that particular form. But in this particular example, we are trying to stress towards what? Maintaining multiple masters, and each master you will have the corresponding target. So that is why we have got respect to headers. Now let us take second company, which is Jackson Industry. Within that we can see, so let's say 13 Sydney Drive, and see whether we got this particular result or not. We got it, right? Then followed by, we need to obtain the result for each employee. So this is same as what we discussed for the first record, guys. Let's say employee ID 3875, manufacturer company, right? And C and 673. Yeah. So manufacturer C and 673. Yeah. That's clear, no? And then we have second row, which is pointing to, yeah, pointing here, employee ID 2838 and correspond D212. Yeah. So where is that, guys? Yeah. There is one extra entry right here, which can't be seen as part of source file. Can you guess the reason why, from where we got this data? Yeah. We got extra entries right here. Yeah.
That is extra employed 2838. Can we search again in source?
Source files. Huh?
Yeah, the detail file.
Yeah, detail file has got that's only 2 entries. Yeah. So remember, I've just deleted it. See, undo I did, right? Now we could get that. Yeah. So 2838 format D12. You got, no? We deleted it, no? Then I just did undo. Now we can see, right? Rest of the rows. Yeah. So that's it. Anyway, we got all the rows. See, now can you see double quotes ended at the end and started at the beginning? Why, guys? Because it's a complete data. We are storing it in what? A string type. Remember that. Clear, no? So
You know,
that's it.
Narasimha, this detailed information, they
Mhm.
below these 2 records, they don't have any master data, right?
They don't have any.
Master data.
The master is also there. I've just now I have done undo, right? Can you see test here? Test is
Yes.
a master.
Okay.
Then you'll have corresponding. See here, correspond test and detailed data. Right?
Okay. Got it.
Fine. So that's it, guys. About simple
Yeah.
example.
Nasim, I
Yes,
have a question here.
this
Let's say if a parent does not have a child or a child does not have a parent, what happens in that case?
orphans. Yeah, child
Oh,
without parent means what? Orphan, and parent
oh,
without a child means what? Zombie. They're the terms we use, right? But
mhm.
in that case, let's say there is no parent and but we have child records, no, you will not get the data in the target because it is mandated that there has to be a linkage between these two. Then only we can get the data in the target. That's a common thing, right? Yes or no? In anywhere. Yeah.
Right.
Or else they'll be treated as what? Either orphan records or zombie records or leftover records. Ravi. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
that's a good question.
And
Remember, guys,
if,
these
yeah, if
things
there is
we
a
have to
parent and no child, it will still go into the XML file, right? Because parent is there.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But
If there is a
one more
parent data, you'll get to see in the target, but other way, no.
But one more thing in here, because there is a parent-child relation in this table, right? So
Yes.
without parent, how we can
Child
map
will exist. Yeah.
child?
That is why you call it zombie. Without parent, there won't be child data, right? That's why we call it as a whatever. Yeah.
Zombie.
Zombie, whatever, right? That's why leftover records. Yeah? Due to some reason, let's say due to wrong entry of data from the source systems, whatever, right? Or there could be some intentional business reasons why they have entered wrong data. There could be many reasons why we got the wrong data, right? So, but still, we have to capture such kind of even wrong entries during discovery phase itself, in the sense as part of analysis, and identify such kind of what anonymous records and deal such records during that time itself, rather than reaching till this stage. You got right? That's what the phase of discover, right? Yes or no?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions from anybody? Yeah. So I think we'll stop here, guys, if there are no questions, because yeah, I have some other session at 8:30. Yeah, but if you have questions, we can still use these 3 minutes. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks to all. So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And bye. And bye. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Darshima, where all the recording is uploading for this group?
Oh, you don't have a link, huh? I'll share that link, Sagarika.
Yeah, please,
I think
please.
I shared, no?
I think I joined one day class late or something. That's why I missed, or maybe
Fine,
in the
then
beginning I missed.
I'll share it, Sagarika.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll share the link. You can just watch for it. Yeah. Fine. Thank you.
Mhm.